Welcome back everyone to a brand new stimulus package update. I know in the last video it was extremely disappointing. The lion's share of it was all bad news, 99% of it. There was like 1% of good news in there, but for the most part it was very disappointing and only brought new headaches. But we do have a brand new draft proposal from Republicans that I want to cover in today's video, and that's what we're going to be taking a look at. In Congress right now, it's basically stagnation. The Senate has adjourned for summer recess. They will not be coming back until September, and talks between the White House and Democrats have stalled, and we're at basically a gridlock point right now with absolutely no progress. But what we now have from Senate Republicans is a scaled back relief bill that they are planning on introducing. Now this won't be considered anytime soon, but it is a brand new skinny package, much less than the Republicans initially proposed. Last month, Senate Republicans introduced the HEALS Act. That was the $1 trillion bill that we have referenced many times, and this bill would now include key elements of that bill. So it won't cost as much as $1 trillion, but it's something that could probably get passed if it were to be debated and negotiated upon rather quickly. As Congress broke off for vacation, Republicans and Democrats left each other nowhere near an agreement. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is still pushing hard for her fair shake of the deal. She had said in an interview later on Tuesday, quote, "I don't want to have to wait until the continuing resolution at the end of September. More people will die, more jobs will be lost. We have to try to come to that agreement now. All they have to do is recognize the need. We're willing to cut our bill in half to meet the needs right now." The 169-page draft proposal from Senate Republicans is supposed to serve as a discussion point for Republicans to look at in the weeks ahead. It's likely a proposal that Republicans can consider upon their return to Washington this come September, but it's also something that Democrats and the White House could also discuss upon as well. And in order for Republicans not to play devil's advocate, they have included in there $10 billion in funding for the Postal Service. This has vastly become a new political issue, with Republicans being accused of trying to slow down the service and doing operational changes in an attempt to get rid of mail-in ballots, or at least limit it and suppress it for this come November's election. This was a nod to the tentative agreement reached between Democratic and White House negotiators. The White House and Republicans have repeatedly already proposed scaled-back versions of the relief bill in an attempt to navigate the contentious parts of the bills in which we've seen in negotiations. Democrats have already refused to take a piecemeal approach, a step-by-step approach, as they want a full, robust package that will cover all of their needs. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin is ready, willing, and able. He had said, quote, "There's a deal to do here if the Democrats want to be reasonable. Democrats are persistently insisting on a $2 trillion bill that includes $1 trillion just for state and local funding. The White House has already called that a non-starter bill. But Democrats are showing signs that they might lean into the Republicans and take a skinnier proposal right now, a slimmed-down version, and then try to get the rest of their needs at a later time. Pelosi said they might be willing to wait till after the November election to get their agenda items. She had said, quote, "We're willing to cut our bill in half to meet the needs right now. We'll take it up again in January." But then a Pelosi spokesman, Drew Hamill, later said that she was referring to previous offers to meet the Republicans, quote, "halfway, not cutting our bill in half." So how much will this new Republican proposal cost, and what's included? Well, this virus relief proposal is going to include a price tag of $500 billion. So in there is going to be that $10 billion for the embattled Postal Service. That's according to a top GOP aide. And this emerging legislation will also provide the $300 in weekly extra federal payments for unemployed people above the state payments that beneficiaries receive. This is according to Senator Roy Blunt of Missouri, Republican. He said that he believes that the extra payments would run through 2020. And this is identical to the extended $300 weekly payments that Trump proposed, where 75% of the $300 of it is going to come for the Fed, and then the rest, the $100 or the other 25%, has to be covered by the state. You're also going to see funding for schools that are struggling during the pandemic, as well as small businesses that are trying to retain employees and try to stay open. So according to a second GOP Senate aide, they said that the proposal will include $105 billion for education. That same aide also said that the plan has $16 billion allocated for virus testing, $29 billion for developing vaccines, manufacturing treatment, and other initiatives aimed at conquering the virus. There's no names associated with these two GOP aides, as they're supposed to speak on the condition of anonymity, as they're not authorized to speak about this emerging legislation publicly. Now, there's deliberately no mention of a second stimulus check in this proposal, if you didn't notice, and that is because this bill is geared towards swiftly getting this bill passed as a slimmer version of a proposal that Republicans and Democrats can come to agree upon, and this would get money into the hands of Americans and businesses as quickly as possible. Even if this bill totally catered and pandered to the Democrats, this is not going to be up for discussion anytime soon, but it is a good piece of news that we do know that there's another proposal that the Democrats are likely to consider. The fact that Pelosi is saying that now she would bend and opt for a slimmer proposal just to try to get this passed and then resume talks after the election is some progress. But with Trump's re-election looming, I couldn't envision him sitting until September doing nothing, just letting negotiations stall and Congress go on vacation. I would imagine he would take some step of executive action again, just like he did in recent days. Trump has already hinted at putting pen to paper once more in an effort to get stimulus checks out to Americans, and he could very well take that step with Congress on vacation and no one's going to stop him. But we are still waiting for the fully written proposal from the Republicans. I'll be sure to update you guys with that once that comes out. But that's all we know so far. Those are the key elements and the discussions and developments that have come through in the recent days since my last stimulus update. But I do hope you enjoyed this update. If you did, if you got value out of it, be sure do smash that like button. It will just help with that YouTube algorithm. YouTube will push the video out to more people so that they'll be in the know and privy to what's going on. Also share the video with a friend so that way they're also aware of what's going on with the next stimulus package. And if you'd like to see more videos from my channel, I do post videos every single week covering business, finance, investing, entrepreneurship, mindset, strategy, and tips and tricks from my own experience. I also do these stimulus check and package updates just like these. So if you're interested in any of those topics, go ahead and click that big red button, the subscribe button, and you want to be notified every single time I make a new video, so you're first line to see it before anyone else. Go ahead and click that little notification bell as well, so you're notified every single time I make a new video. Looking forward to seeing you in the next one.